All right, I am back. Remember, we're talking about the H.D.O.T.A. Hear, discern, obey, and take action. Many of you are not confident or just fear that maybe you might make a mistake. You know, there is an accountability necessary. So that's why you got to get with someone who have the anointing or have done these types of things, or a counselor to make sure that you lose this fear of failure, or fear of rejection. And so I want to share this part to you now, these last five, but you're going to need to surround yourself with growth oriented relationships, people that are community based, or people that are connected to what you're doing, to have these God ordained connections so that you can have your labor not be so tense and so full of fear that you're not going to make it. You know, everything is God, and God's timing is perfect. But we want to make sure that we realize that God is pruning us. You are more than likely in a season of pruning. And so God has to cut off these things and people so you can bear more fruit, so you can be more fruitful. See, because pruning involves God removing things in your life that hinder your growth. And even those things that seem fearful, He's trying to get you to see, I'm not going to put more on you than you can bear, but I am calling you to a new place. So that means even the things that seem good, even the people that seem like they're so perfect. But remember what I said, He's got to remove those good, safe things to get you to greater things. So this is very painful. I know it is. You've been pregnant for a long time. Nobody even affirmed your gift. Maybe someone has affirmed your gift and you're scared to move in it or even give that title out. But it's painful, but it's going to lead you to greater fruitfulness in the future. Remember that. It may even involve letting go of a certain habit of doing certain things at certain times and not doing certain things because of fear. And again, remember, these are seasonal relationships that's most more than likely holding you up, and they're blind guys that you really respect them and like them and love them and they love you. But the mindset may not be there for you to be able to go forward. The opportunities are there, but you're going to have to know how to look at what's restless and what's dissatisfaction when it's not fruitful so you can move forward. You need the mindset to know that I know that this is what this HDOTA saying. I know that I'm hearing God. I am discerning what He's showing me. He's shown me in a dream, and I keep seeing this. So I'm going to obey Him and take action. But this is the part you got to remember. The boundaries have to be there with these relationships. Grace is abounding. So you need to connect the boundaries that God is showing you to move forward and obey Him. You got to prioritize your relationships and foster them with wise company, people that are respectable and people that are going somewhere. Okay, remember, these new direction changes are going to prompt you, but you got to have a confidence. Now let's look at number 6 here really quickly. Pilot your idea. I call it biting. All of my books, I bite them with people. I'll write a little bit of something, let them read it, and they say, wow, this is really good. What? That's because now I know that there's an interest. I'm piquing interest. So that's what you're going to be doing the MVP part of this. You're going to test small, okay? Test your concept, test whatever product or whatever word or book or program that you're trying to do. Test the concept with a minimal, what they call viable product. And one thing about a minimum, that's MVP, okay, the minimum viable product. But in the world, of course, more business like, they call it minimum viable product. But what? It's mainly coming from what the old one used to be is the MMR, the minimum marketable release. And so you want to make sure that that MVP is only going to be a version that you're developing, and for the least amount of money, so you don't be spending a whole lot of money and ain't going nowhere fast because you don't even know all the ins and outs. That's why you got to get with those people who have been there so that you can know what to consider. The least as possible is spending a whole bunch of money, so you can get that product out there. Now, the other part is then now you have to think about the feedback once you've done that in this pilot idea of you got in this pivot. So you're going to use feedback to refine anything that you know you need to shape differently in this pilot idea part. That's number 6. Number 7, build your brand. Now, I'm always talking about branding yourself. Stick with one thing. Quit scattering around doing all these things. Get that one thing and get it down so that you can make sure that you pilot it right and do that MVP on it. Okay, so build your brand, create an online presence, make sure that you develop a website, engage on social media, and make sure you market strategically to plan how to reach your target audience effectively. You want to make sure that whatever that brand is, whatever that logo is, whatever you got to be doing to make sure that they remember your logo or your tag message about what you're doing. Number 8, you want to monitor and adapt. Okay, that means you want to evaluate your progress, regularly assess your progress against your goals to see where you are, and be flexible. Okay, be willing to adjust your approach based on the feedback that you're getting from people and the market changes. Remember, some stuff ain't now, some stuff could be later, but make sure you don't go too soon pulling these things out. Many of you are hindered again. Like I said, you got blind guides and you haven't wrote the vision down to make it plain. Make sure you recognize these seasonal relationships, as Ephesians 3:1 is telling us. There's a time for everything and a season for every activity under the sun. That's the NIV version. But make sure you establish your boundaries. Make sure that you realize that you got to have the confidence. You got to be able to discern. You got to make sure that these seasonal relationships that are there are not having you grow, but they are hindering you. So you want to embrace the call, embrace the areas that God is trying to show you. He's calling you to the new pivot. Okay, time for renewal. Yes, sometimes it's rest, but don't be sitting up with the fear of paralysis and calling it God got you rest. You are afraid. Move forward. This is not from God when you have this fear. It is from the devil trying to block you. I said monitor and adapt. Okay, access the progress, it goes and all of that. And then number 9 is stay motivated. Stay motivated. That means you want to celebrate small victories, maintain momentum. Don't be trying to puff yourself up and keep calling out your name and showing your thing. The main thing you want to do is make sure you brand that thing so they will remember it. So you want to celebrate your small victories to maintain momentum. You want to connect with a support group of people and surround yourself with these people to be supported. Get those peers, those people you know that God has called you to help you in this pruning time. This pruning time is a very hard time because it's painful. You know, that God has still got you wondering, why am I feeling this way? Why is things shifting and opportunities and doors are closing? You know, you're trying to figure out, why do I have to keep on going through this? Well, like I told you earlier on, God is calling you into a new direction or a service alignment for a greater purpose. And some of those ways may take you, some of this tension may take you back to old relationships that God said, I need you to go back over here because they have the oil in their lives to help you. You can't just keep on choosing on your own, or maybe you've been rebellious for whatever they're trying to show you and you didn't want to take it. But you need to get back over there where God is trying to show you. So you want to stay motivated. So get with someone who can definitely nurture your baby so your baby can not come out all type of deformities and all type of behaviors and act in a certain way because you have no guidance. I gave you the books on part 1 that you need to get to consider to get those books so you can make sure that you look at, have I really answered the call? Have I recognized my spiritual mother, mentor, midwife? You know, am I looking at these 10 ways that I can't grow? Or maybe demons are on assignment on your life because you have no covering. Or is it friendly witchery? You know, these are the books I told you to get. And one of the biggest ones today that people are having trouble with is pressing forward in the face of rejection. That's why I told you to get that test number 7, Loosen the Persecuted Preacher Woman. Okay, that message may be about a preacher woman issue that I had going through being rejected as a woman preacher, but there's a whole lot of other things I've given you that you need to look at. And then number 9, I think I did number 9, stay motivated. Look at your milestones and celebrate them. I also said that you get the right support. Then finally, number 10, launch it. That means now you're doing the H.D.O.T.A. You fixing to launch it. You're not afraid to put it out there. Once you're ready, make sure you know it's God. Keep doing what I'm telling you here in the H.D.O.T.A. Making sure you hear God. You're discerning and knowing that it's God, and you're going to obey and take action. Launch it. Go forward. See the new venture and see the new path that God has taken to you to, and pivot in the name of Jesus. Pivot. Keep learning and evolving based on the market needs and your personal growth. And when you do that, you can rest assured that God is going to give you the teachability. He's going to give you the word that you need to do for this new season in your life. I pray that God has touched you in these messages for these particular 10 that I gave out today. Stay tuned. I will share more with you later up the road. Love you.